Let's see what this book can do.
And we're watching Eido for once. I've been kind of waiting for the day that this would happen. Super standard Abrams start, Infernal Resilience just for extra regen in lane. He's a big guy, he'll lose a lot of trades if he doesn't start it. I do enjoy how Eido decided to take control of the Veil right away. He is a shotgun user, so it is one of the best ways to create some sort of pressure in your lane.
I should go shopping.
And they're looking for a lane swap. I am curious as to why they took two different TPs. But yeah, I do like the lane swap. It's probably more so for the Abrams. Just because the Shiv 7's just going to be able to put pot shots into him. Whereas instead, even though he's going into the Venator, it's a little bit easier to play around. Because they'll be playing a little bit closer range, especially with the Calico. But the big thing is, I'm curious of how Eido uses his movement to really generate an impact on this game. Because he is a very active player when he plays Abrams. And he somehow makes Abrams look like he can just like surf along the map. It's pretty cool. I mean, nothing much is going to happen. They're probably just playing for the boxes in the tier 1 camps. But besides that, it's just going to be pretty mundane lane. Especially with an Abrams, you're not really going to have a lot of that pressure. Mirage does have a lot of poke, but with someone like an Abrams, it's kind of hard to generate a lot of that kill threat. Something I will mention, just for my editors to include, Monster Rounds is one of the cool items on Abrams. It's purchased mainly just because he kind of struggles to clear a lot of the minion waves. So it helps him clear them quickly. But what it also does is, when lanes kind of end, he's just able to play for a lot of the Guardians and just trying to like put pressure and take them down. Because the bullet resist versus NPCs works against walkers and Guardians as well. And I like that he's playing the heights. He's trying to play a little bit elusive to try and see if they overextend or not. Put some pressure to see if he can bring them into like the tower or whatever. I do wonder if Eido's gonna go more of like the together style Abrams right now, or are you just gonna do a little bit more of like the full spirit, but he's just getting these items to help with wave clear and farming speed. Oh, I like this gank. If it's played well, it can be very threatening. Great talent is low. And a good threat attempt, because he still pushes them away to get the Guardian, which is really good. So even though he loses yellow, they get the more important Guardian of blue. And I like that he's coming back too, because he's kind of defending his camps in a way. Yeah, he just has to leave. His trade is not very good. But I do like what he did, because he still pressured them out of his jungle. He created a presence there and did fight them to go away, and brought some cooldown usage on him. So now the Mirage is actually able to farm these camps. I like that he tried to set up a little bit of a trap there, but it is very unsuccessful, and it does get really hard to do, especially into especially getting it like sniffed out. Like, you got decayed instantly by Shiv, and it just made that whole sequence really hard because you can't really heal it back up. And that was just forced to reset. So he's kind of homeless right now. So I'm curious what he ends up doing. Because sinners are being taken by the Billy, which is normal. So is he just going to play for the right side sinners? Yeah. I'm a little bit surprised, though, that he hasn't had too much impact, but I think this is where it kind of changes. Yeah, this is big. Big assist, too, for him. Plays immediately for the bridge buff, which I do like. But what does he do after? Okay, he's just going to play for Urn, right? Yeah, so he has the pressure in place for Urn. And with Eido's movement, this is just an easy task. I do like how he's playing the safer route. And yeah, they're immediately sent. They have 4 here now, and they have the pressure for the Urn. So Eido just can take this free earn. It's nice. But it is really just hard for Abrams to get active without any initiation tools like a Warp Stone or Phantom Strike. Does he go another gun item to get his gun spike? I think people have been going like Stalker or something. Yeah, so he's helping the Billy get mid prio. And he checks the sewers or the treasure room. Oh, I really like this. Nice, big kill, no man. Now they have so much prio on green, on blue, so they can just look for other stuff as well. Nice. And he's got some good kills. And now that he has a 3.2 spike, does he just get Warp Stone to help initiations, or does he like finish spiking or get like a Spear Snatch or something for it? Yeah, so he gets a Warp Stone. I like this buy. So now he can Warp Stone into charge, which helps a lot with initiation issues and gap closing. So now it's much easier to land his pin. And now he's going to be 100% play more active. And I'm not even going to be... Yeah, he's playing for the Last Guardian as well. Great cube by the Viscous. That was unfortunate. He works on straight into the gut shot, which pushed him away. But the other thing I do like about what he's doing is because he's going his gun spike first, or what it seems like his gun spike first, he did max his 2 first. And with the added cooldown, he's just able to play a lot more aggressively into these situations. Oh, huge. That was a great ult. And great kill onto Venator. He will probably... Oh my god. Okay. Well, that was a big cube from the Viscous, but Eido still dies. But you 100% take the trade from the Venator for your Abrams. You're trading their carry for your tank, and this is going to slow down the pace, which allows the Geist and the Mirage, and even like the Billy in some cases, to up their farming speed. So they're now ahead of the Venator. While FESL does have the 7 as their main carry, and the Venator is the secondary carry, it's still much more beneficial to have your carries be stronger than theirs, just for the extra pressure. And I like this fight as well, because it's just putting pressure and forcing them to be unable to grab the mid wave. So they just have infinite blue prio, which is just allowing them so much free space on the map. And yeah, so they immediately look towards the Sinners. I love this. They're utilizing the space that they just created to steal away some farm. And I like how he's not playing too scared. Even though he is decayed, he understands that he's still part of the damage threat for his team. So he needs to stay. Nice save, too. Oh, what? So they really wanted to play for the bridge buff, but I think this just killed them. Oh my god. Good try on the kills. I think they should still be able to pick them up. Yeah, they pick up 2. So even though he dies 1 for 2, he did so much there. That looked super grim at the beginning, and then they kind of turned it around with a great pin on 2. But what I would have preferred, I think it would have been better just for them to give up the bridge buff, but I guess they understand their limits, and they just took that fight, and they found a window to make it good for them. But that's a really bad death from Do. It allows the other carries to catch up to him. And he's still dead for another 30 seconds. Yeah, he's aggressively playing for this mid wave because it just stunts a lot of pressure. And yeah, uses the Warp Stone and charge to just get out. I stopped hiding from the Venator. He played line of sight really well. Yeah, so he did end up going the Stalker for the extra shred, which does help with a lot of the damage, because it does proc off any sort of off any weapon damage. So even if you just shoots them before charging or something, or light meleeing, it works really well. Wait, what set up this play? So the Ivy scouts out 2, scouts out 3, scouts out 4. So then they use this information. Oh, this is nice. So then they use this information, and they know the Great Talon is on blue because he's shooting the wave. So Eido immediately goes over to Green Walker to put some pressure on that with the Billy. Do also comes on the Mirage. So they're just looking to get the Walker here. And because they had their blue wave pushed, or their yellow lane pushed, FPSL doesn't have the ability to trade the Walker. And I think Eido here is just trying to be a distraction for the team to allow them to escape. Yeah. And as per Eido fashion, he uses his movement to get out. So he does just stay just to make sure that the 7 can't take the Walker for free. And he makes sure his presence is known. Because if he doesn't make his presence known there, the 7's just going to push. And they can lose the Walker because Eido knows that no one on his team can really help him out. So he has to show early to put on the pressure, be like, hey, 7, you can't be doing this because I'm here.
Let's take out Calico.
Oh, I love this flank. I like the look. I like the look. Because now that it's 18 minutes, any pick can potentially lead to a mid-boss. Melee Creeps does have enough damage, especially with Abrams, Billy, Geist, and Mirage, to be able to just burst down the mid-boss. And if, okay, so they don't have the Akfire, but they do have the Shred on the Geist, and they do have some Shred on, like, with the Stalkers and the Billy blasted to make it very, very useful and quick to Shred for mid. So one pick can very much look into a mid-boss. And I do love the fact that he got the Spirit Spike with Slowing Hex. It's really useful for the Shiv and Calico, who are going to be trying their damnedest to be annoying as heck in these fights. So just being able to shut them down before getting into any of these fights is really useful. I mean, that's a great pick on low main. And for those who are unaware, yeah, you can use Warpstone in Abrams ult to reposition and look for a better slam. So Dew probably says this Walker is dead. Let's look to trade for this left Walker. But because they're taking so long, they actually lose out on the window. So they're just kind of forced to back up. So they just decide to play for Earn instead. And that's a big heal Nova. Low main does end up getting the stack, but that's what they were trying to prevent. They knew Eido was low, so they wanted to make sure that the Great Talon couldn't get the stack off Eido. They shred that very quickly. Huge pin to allow them to get the second rejuve. That just neutralizes this entire game. If they don't contest there and they just give up the all 3 rejuves, FPSL gets a lot of control of the game. So even just getting one, or even just like removing one off of them, is more than beneficial because it stunts how much they can actually do with the rejuve. Because people will use the rejuves as a safety net, and that's a great split push from Dew in the meantime. He probably does end up dying for it, but he's buying a lot of time, and now they can look for other for other things off the map. Yeah, Eido heavily misplayed right there. So he just went for the raw heavy melee which actually prevented them from killing the 7. Instead, if he just looks for the charge and follows up the Billy chain, he ends up getting the kill for, like 100% of the time. And just because of that, they pretty much lose a lot of their map pressure. Because if they get the kill in the 7, they're actually able to get out. Melee does do a good job for clearing the mid wave, making sure that they can't get blue. They'd much rather let a side wave or sidewalker die than their mid walker. I like what he's doing here. He pretty much just waited around a bit because he did hear the Calico cat form. So he was making sure that if she went to just take the sinners there, she would get punished for it. And so he hit around corners to make sure that she couldn't do that. The Calico wouldn't know that, but he set up a little trap. Yeah, I'm glad he doesn't take that fight. It was a doomed fight to begin with. He's in the movement to get out. It's just good. Because if he takes that fight, what ends up happening is his death just allows him to shove out their sideways hard. And they kind of have to turtle for a bit, which relinquishes a lot of pressure for the jungle camps. They still have to do that, but they can at least put some pressure back after he resets. So they can't take everything fully. Right now he's just trying to maintain blue prio for the next objective. And that would be bridge buffs in this case.
I see Shiv. I see Shiv.
Nice. Not nice. But I do like that pressure. It was an attempt to get the kill and then get out. But they noticed that FESL was playing for the urn, and they used that window to try and get the kill on low main and get out, which they didn't account for the Calico being nearby to burst him down. But the attempt was still there. So even though they do all die, the timing isn't that bad, just because mid boss isn't up for another 2 minutes or so, and all they'll lose is they'll lose blue walker, but it's not as bad as it could have been. Because if mid boss was up, that fight is entirely game changing, and they just lose almost on the spot. But now they can actually play for stuff. And a key thing to note is that melee creeps have really good mid contest. Abrams with ult charge is really good. The Billy ult and chain is strong. Same with Ivy ult. Just silencing everybody in the pit is huge. And then Mirage, once he gets Ricochet or even double NATO, just can turn the entire game around. Because one good pin or one good chain can turn the entire game. Melee creeps team fighting is very strong. And I do like how they play this Rift. And I agree with FPSL giving it up. Because if they do decide to fight that, they just lose. It is a fight due to resistances. So all melee creeps are going to do is they're just going to turtle and wait till FPSL screws up, and by looking for a pick, or just by flipping mid-boss. I do like what Eido's doing. He's stacking a lot of deep resist. So what's happening is, with the Dispel Magic, he can cleanse the things like Shiv Daggers, 7 Stun, Paradox Bomb Amp, and all that other stuff. But the key thing that he has to worry about is when he does get CC'd by, like, Great Talon Trap or whatever, that he's just able to reset. Great patience to wait out the unstop. And something to note there is, because he saved his Dispel Magic previously, if the 7 did have stun again there, he would have been able to just dispel it and continue the chase on. Because he didn't need to use the Dispel Magic, because he positioned himself in a spot where he's not stunning his team, but he's still close enough to be able to come back into the fight and have some presence.
They're in mid. Let's go mid.
Nice.
Let's take out the Venator.
But Eido's constantly setting up a trap. Every single place he goes, he's just hiding around corners, making it so that that people have to second guess where he is, and then that way he can just pin them out of sight and just get a free kill. And that entire sequence just changes the game. But yeah, so instead of just rushing right away to push down the Guardians and whatnot, they know the respawns are short enough to the point where they shouldn't be fighting immediately into the base. They're just denying souls off the map from the enemies, so that way they can get richer and then look to take the fight once they're stronger. And they'll play for the other objectives first too. So Rift will be coming up shortly as well. I like the Phantom Strike buy. It's great for the 7, great for the Great Talent to get them out of the sky. And it's also just good to, it's a disarm for the Venator and the 7 as well. So it completely shuts down the 7th unless he has the Unstop active. But as you saw, Eido did wait patiently for the Unstop to end before charging the 7 in the previous fight. Great counterspell from low main. That's a great reaction. Good try on the Calico. But yeah, you can see that they're always trying to catch people before taking any of these fights. They do have a good team fight, but they just want to make sure that they're able to do things safely and risk-free.
Let's push green. Let's push Greenwich.
Nice. Good little chase.
Let's push green.
Begging for mercy.
Greenwich.
But by far my favorite thing is that he's not afraid to just get in there. So many people would just be scared to just like not go in, especially even as a front line. But he's not scared to just go in and use up his life in order to get one kill and get a good trade for his team.
Push yellow.
So even if he dies, his main goal is to get rid of the carries. If he gets rid of the carries, his job is done.
Let's push yours. Careful, Abrams. Good job.
And all these staggers are just going to allow them to drop.
I see 7.
Forces out the Unstop.
Can't stop now.
And I like that they're not being greedy. They're just taking the shrine. They're not playing for the drop. They're just getting out. They're okay. And yeah, they just leave the Mirage to die. If oh, no, he does get out. But they're not playing greedy. They don't have the reach of anymore. So they didn't try to drop because they don't want to risk dying and trying to flip the game again. So what they do is on the escape is they just steal the jungle. And anyone who's low will just reset completely. And now that there's not really anything to play for, they're just chilling, taking their jungle. Good pick from FPSL on the Billy. Oh, I kind of like that buy a lot. So if you look at Eido's build right now, he has full actives, but his main goal in these fights is to get his charges off. So you might be thinking, why not maybe something like Witchmail? But that's mainly just because of the active slots, and the fact that he has things like Melee Charge and Mystic Shot as well. Like Mystic Shot, Spirit Snatch. He has a lot of things that do gain a lot of value from Transcendent cooldown. So while it does reduce the cooldown of Shoulder Charge, it also reduces the cooldowns of every single one of his items, or a lot of his items. Whereas the Witchmail only affects his cooldowns, his ability cooldowns.
Mid-boss has arrived.
It starts with a simple cut.
That's something small too. I like how Eido went first on the hyperline, or on the jump pad, and that's literally just in case that someone is hiding and he's using himself as bait. Because some people will use the bridge bus as bait to look for a pick, and he just goes up first because he has the front line. So that way, if he doesn't get hyperline, the Geist is able to just go up and get the buff. And yeah, because they know that FPSL went to grab the urn, they're just forcing the mid.
Let's go mid.
Here I come.
I see paradox.
And all Eido's doing right now is zoning the carries away from his team so they can take the rest of the fight. Great parry bait.
Take out Calico.
This is how it starts. Let's take out great talent.
Ever she can.
I see Calico. I see talent. I see talent. Let's take out seven.
Nice. Unironically, Eido is pretty much single-handedly winning them that
I see
fight.
talent.
He's zoned away the Venator, allowing his team to focus on the rest of their team, and which takes away 1 DPS. So if you have 2 DPS in a fight versus 5, it's much stronger. So I love that. And then he just isolated his fights, pinning and flanking them from behind, which has allowed him to secure a lot of the kills and like deny their escape path. And I do like this. I know they just dropped and they have the 3 reaches, but they know they have time. They're just resetting because they have a lot of money. They just took a fight, so they want to reset, buy, make sure they're spending their money, and then now they can look for the fight. And I love the Scourge buy too. Extra debuff resist to allow them to play in their face more, as well as just a little bit added tankiness. And I do like what happened. He had the slowing hex previously because he knows he's going to be fighting the Calico and the Shiv a lot more than the other people on the plane. So instead, now that it's more of a team fight focus, he can't really select who he's slowing hex a lot of the time. So he switches to the defensive approach to make sure he can just stay in their face. Waits for the unstop. He doesn't wait that time. He mistimes it. That's big. And just like that, that's GG's. I know team fought really well that game. Really well.